Okay, thanks for jumping on today. This is day 3 of the Sprint to Freedom. Very excited, can't you tell? Very excited about what we're going to jump into today. So today is all about you setting up your Gumroad account. So what is Gumroad? Gumroad is a e-commerce platform that is very it's used by a lot of people. It's very popular. It's very easy to use, very intuitive. And one of the reasons why I recommend it to a lot of people is, that ease of use. You really don't need a ton of, technical knowledge. You don't need hardly any, to be honest, to use it. You can put your product up there. And just have it ready to sell to the world. The transaction fees are a bit high. The more you sell, the less the fees are. So if you're just starting out, they take, I believe it's 9%, which is high. I'm not going to pretend that it's not. It's high, but it's worth it because, you don't have to hire, a web person. You don't have to go through that whole process of, creating a website and figuring out the hosting and the domain and all that stuff. I mean, I do all that stuff, not only for myself, but I do it for clients. So it's not a big deal to me, but for someone that has never done it, I can understand why it would be a big deal. But with Gumroad, you can just create your product, get it online, and start selling it right away. And the other thing I like about Gumroad is that you can build an email list the same way. Very simple. You can post things on Gumroad, and as you can tell, if you've already signed up, all of the emails are coming from Gumroad, right? So you can publish emails to Gumroad. You can publish lead magnets to Gumroad, and you can have your email list grow on Gumroad, and then you can also export it. You can just export it in a CSV file, and then if you get to a point where you want to graduate to an Aweber or a Mailchimp or a Constant Contact or a ConvertKit, you can import that email list right into those platforms and basically continue to grow. But this is basically people who are on a shoestring, whether it's not a lot of time, not a lot of money, or not a lot of both. Right? You can start on Gumroad for free, and then once you start getting some sales and getting some traction, you can always move on. But so today is all about starting on Gumroad. I'm going to add some links to show you how to set up your Gumroad account. And then once you do that, just go to work on your daily activities, which is your lead magnet, your digital product, and then obviously your daily content. And as a reminder, I may not have said this, but make your daily content the work that you're doing on this digital product. There's a thing that's out there called build in public, right? And basically what a lot of creators are starting to do is that they're making, and have done for a while, is that they're making their daily content they're building, right? So what I'm saying is that, if you're building a product, make your daily content that build of the product, right? There's no need to spend time to create something for social media when you can just use the things that you're building as the content, right? Don't reinvent the wheel. It works, okay? You have a limited amount of time. you're working full time, you got a family, you have all these responsibilities. Use the building of the product as the content, okay? To show people what you're building. Talk about what you're building, okay? All of that is content, all of that is valid, and people will love it. People will find great value in it. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about today, I plan on talking about taking massive action, and I still believe in that, and I will, veer off into that at some point. But specifically what I wanted to discuss is if you're finding, that you're having trouble figuring out a path and you're not really you're not really committed to a particular path, that is probably a sign that you're doing something that you don't want to do, okay? In all labor, the Bible says, in all labor there's profit, okay? So everything that you do is profitable or profitable, whether it's for someone else or for you, and ideally it should be profitable for both. And I think a lot of people feel like, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do what I love to do because I don't know if it'll make any money. Like, let's say that you want to talk about, the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and you want that to be your job from now on. You want to talk about, the next Avengers movies, the next, whatever shows on Disney Plus, what have you. And there's a thinking that, well, no one's going to listen to that. Or, maybe if they do listen to it, how do I monetize it? And all that's valid. But you got to understand, number one, that there's people who are doing that now. And they make a full-time income doing that. Now, did they make a full-time income from the start? No. They were just consistent. But there's a guy, I think his name is Everything Awesome or something like that, on YouTube. I got to get his actual YouTube name. I don't want to disrespect him like that. But, this guy, and he's really good at what he does. He's very informative, and it seems like he has contacts within the industry, so he's able to provide some insight that the average person can't. But I don't know, it's a couple things. I don't know exactly when that, when he had all those contacts, or if he always had those contacts. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But the point is that he knew, he knew that this is what he wanted to do. And he decided to make it's called Emergency Awesome. That's his channel, Emergency Awesome. Definitely follow him if you're a big Marvel person, a big comic book person. Follow him because he's really informative. He breaks down all the episodes. He breaks down all the movies. He breaks down the trailers. So if you're into that stuff, and maybe you don't watch it, maybe you didn't watch the trailer, maybe you didn't watch the episode, but he'll break it down for you, and tie in Easter eggs and things like that. It's really cool. And the guy, he gets, probably like 500,000 views per video. And I'm sure that the studios are, constantly reaching out to him, as an influencer, so he's probably making money off of that. He's making money off the ads. He's making money off of his own stuff, like his merch, and, he has Patreon levels, and you don't have to worry about how you're going to make something profitable. Just create the thing. Okay, create the thing that you want. What would you love to get up every day and do? What would make it amazing? What would be an amazing thing for you to get up and do every single day? Okay, and to me, that should be the direction that you're going in, right? If it doesn't excite you, don't do it. Okay, because you're already working. And for a lot of people, you're already doing things that you're not interested in doing. You're already not interested. You're not really passionate about it. Now, if you're passionate about your job, but you just want more income, then obviously I'm not talking to you, but I'm talking to people who, your job has no juice. There's no excitement. There's no, like get up and it's like, yeah, I want to do this. That's gone. You don't have that. Right? So my thing is, why not do the thing that you would love to do? Why not go for it? Why not go for your passion and, just go all in on the passion while you're working, okay? And work out all the kinks while you have a steady paycheck, figure out how to make it profitable. And then, once you've figured that out, then, you can let the job go. That's really what this challenge is all about and what this membership is all about. It's about, a community of people who are moving into work that they love, that they're passionate about, but doing so in a responsible way, in a smart way. And, I don't know the background on this guy, but, just imagine, if you're someone who loves Marvel movies and Marvel content, to get up every day and be able to talk about that and make money, right? Isn't that the dream? Isn't that what most people dream about doing? And from a spiritual perspective, right? From a spiritual perspective, love conquers all, right? The Bible says that, love conquers all, and that you can't do anything like faith works by love. So if you don't love what you're doing, it's very hard to have the faith to keep doing it, to keep going when things don't pan out. Love has to be at the bottom of what you're doing, I believe. The people, the very best people, in their field, whatever that field is, are the people that love what they do. Now, for some folks, it takes years, if not decades, to figure out what it is you would love to do every single day. And it may be more than one thing. It doesn't have to be one thing, because we're complex people. So, one thing, if you're a multi-dimensional person, just loving one thing is almost impossible, right? In your real life, you don't just love one person, right? I love my wife, but also love my daughter. I love my family. I love my friends. I love my work, right? You love different things. It's just that you love them in different ways, right? You don't love one like you love the other, okay? But you're not going to just love one thing. That's just not how life works, okay? But you have the ability to make a living doing what you love to do, because people are doing it every single day. So stop, looking for the thing that's going to make the most money, because that's the wrong way to go about it. You're already making money, right? You're making money at your job. So you don't have to be afraid that, the rent is not going to get paid in most cases, because you're already working a job. But, if you want to be able to work in what you love, you have to start where you are, and you have to start, building that following, building that building that thing to a point where, you can let the job go. So my humble advice to you as I end this is that, you want to think about, what would you love to do every single day? For me, I'll never forget it. It was Colin Cowherd. He asked himself when he was working at ESPN, am I doing what I want to do, and am I living where I want to live, right? And the answer for both was no, because he was living in Connecticut, and the winters are rough in the Northeast. Because we've lived in the Northeast for over 20 years, so we know how rough the winters can get up there. And I asked myself the same question a few years ago, and it was April. It was the first week of April in Pennsylvania, and we got a snowstorm. It was one of those fluke snowstorms, but it was like 4 or 5 inches of heavy, wet snow that I had to dig my car out of. And I'm starting to feel like I'm shoveling this snow out, and I'm tired. I feel like I just said, I'm like, man, I'm so done with this. I'm so done with snow in April. It's like, we should be past this. It's one thing if it's January, right? It's one thing if it's February, but it's another thing when it's April. Like April, we should be beyond this, right? So that it was in that point in time, I decided we're moving someplace warmer. And that was in 2019, before COVID hit. And, that summer, we made a decision to come to Florida, and we've been here ever since. So I've always wanted to live in Florida. My wife always wanted to live in a warmer climate, so it worked out. And that checked off the first box. Are you living where you want to live? And, now I can say, yeah, do we live in a perfect area? No, there's challenges everywhere you live. But, by and large, it's a good place to live, right? So the second thing is, am I doing what I want to do? And the answer to that was no. And so I said, okay, well, what would I want to do every day, right? And I made a list of the things that I would want to do every day. And it wasn't a long list. It's probably like 3-4 things, that I would love to do. One is to write. I love writing. Another one is to coach. I like coaching. Another thing would be to create, different things, create courses and products and things. And so, when I thought about all that, I said, okay, I can do that. But, I was working. I still am working, full transparency. I work full time still. But you can start on a small scale and just continue to build, right? The key is to be consistent. The key is to find the thing that you love to do, and then just start doing it. Start doing it. Offer, little products. Offer something for $10, $20, and see if there's a demand out there for that. And then, the more you do that, the closer you're going to get to a time where people are going to say, yeah, I've been waiting for this. Like I've been wanting, excuse me, I went dark. I've been waiting for this for a long time. And to me, that is the thing that is, in my estimation, that is what separates the dreamers from the doers. The dreamers think about how great it would be if I could just, if I could do what I love to do, that'd be awesome. If I could, make a living doing things that I love to do, that'd be so great, right? And then you have the other people who just do it and they make it happen. So I'm helping you. Hopefully I'm helping you to become the second person instead of the first. All right. So thanks for jumping on today, day 3. Wrap it up. Start, if you feel like you're not doing something that you love to do, start, doing about face. There's nothing wrong with changing directions or changing gears if you need to do that. So thanks so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you soon.